Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another episode of Breakfast with Loki. We'll get to that in just a minute. I'm also going to cover in this video Tesla's retained earnings growth. The 10Q was published this morning and I read through it and I updated one of my animated charts and Jason Calacanis retweeted it. We'll get to that in just a minute, but first I'll bring in my co-host Loki, who we're about to feed breakfast to. So I'll move this tripod platform out of the way. Grab Loki his breakfast. There you go, buddy. Oh, I get a yawn? I get a big yawn instead of interest in eating breakfast? Okay, so if he wants to eat, he'll come over and eat. And I'll move the Loki's bed cam so you don't miss a second of the thrilling action of Loki stretching and eating his breakfast. And while he's doing that, I will share my desktop with you. You can keep an eye on Loki in the Loki cam, but I'll be over here sharing my screen where Jason Calacanis, legendary investor, self-described world's greatest moderator of the All In podcast, found this tweet that I sent out earlier today and retweeted it, giving me proper attribution here, not the regular quote tweet, but he does have me tagged here on it. And of course I put my watermark on here so nobody can steal my stuff and get away with it unless they want to try and crop off my logo from what I'm working on. Good boy, Loki. So yeah, this is just something I've been updating for a while. Check out how much Tesla's retained earnings have grown. Let me flip over to where I originally tweeted this. I can find it in my notifications pretty quick, I bet. Yeah, here it is. I captioned it, Tesla lost money for about 10 years after IPO. Since 2021, Tesla retained earnings have skyrocketed $18 billion. We'll talk about that more after I reward Loki for eating all of his breakfast. Yes, you were a good boy. I really should have had this treat prepared ahead of time. There you go, buddy. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. And I'm back. Hopefully you and Loki had a lot of fun waiting for me to go grab a treat and come back. So, yeah, check out this chart. Pretty great J-curve, as Jay Calacanis pointed out, Jason Calacanis. Where did I find this? I found it in Tesla's 10Q. So here's what that looks like. If you go to Tesla's website, ir.tesla.com, you'll find a link, once it's posted, to the filing, the official filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. That's required of all publicly traded companies. If you're trading on the U.S. stock market, you have to file quarterly reports on your financials with the Securities and Exchange Commission of the U.S. government. And if you just scroll down here, the first thing that it'll hit you with is the balance sheet. What's happening with the balance sheet? Well, your assets have to equal your liabilities plus your stockholders' equity. That is the accounting equation. Some people are going to argue with me and say it's more complicated than that, but that's the basics if you're not being pedantic about it. So here's the assets for Tesla at the end of last year, December 31st, 2022. Tesla had $82 billion worth of assets. That has increased to more than $90 billion worth of assets. What happened on the other side of the accounting equation? Well, the liabilities only went up by $2 billion. So this is debt and payables and stuff. That's good. That's good news that the liabilities only went up by $2 billion, because that means the rest of it was on the equity side. Which part of equity went up by the most? Retained earnings did. So here's the other $6 billion-ish, you know, close to it. If you want to chalk it up to two things, it's just the liabilities of $2 billion and the retained earnings of nearly $6 billion over 6 months, just since the end of last year. If you want to take it back 6 quarters to the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, Tesla's up nearly $18 billion, which is what I thought was the most important thing to point out when I captioned this tweet. Up $18 billion. Flying like a rocket ship, Tesla's cumulative net income since IPO. Tesla used to lose money, but they don't anymore. And that is my video. So with that, I will reset the Loki cam over here in Loki's spot. And I will outro and say, if you've enjoyed today's video, click the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, why not go ahead and subscribe to my channel over here if you're watching this on YouTube, and click the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post fresh content. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon or on Twitter. If you like what I'm doing and you find my content valuable, you can support me on YouTube as my executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, do in a big way, earning them a shout out at the end of every video. And I'll see you in the next one.